What do y'all think? It's a pretty nice spot. Tree. Yeah, this is going to do nicely. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So, as I promised last week, we were doing a simulated overnight with our get home bag, my coat that I always keep in the truck, and that is it. So we're going to stay out overnight here tonight. It's right now it's probably about 56 degrees. It doesn't feel too bad, but it's supposed to drop down into the low 40s, and that's not too bad either. The one concern is it rained about 3 inches last night, and everything is soaking wet, really wet. So I kind of picked this little spot out right here. It's on a slight little incline, so hopefully we stay out of the mud. But I really didn't want to do this today because it was foul, but we don't get to choose sometimes when we have to survive. We don't get that pretty day. It might be a bad day. It's overcast. There is a chance of rain, but we're going to make the best of it. So I got to do some preps here this afternoon. I guess it's about 2:30 in the afternoon right now, so I gave myself plenty of time to gather up a little bit of wood, and hopefully we can start a fire tonight for maybe some coffee and something hot to eat later on. But I'm going to get this shelter set up, so give me a few minutes and I'll be right back with you, and let's get camp set up and let's see what it looks like. So we don't have an axe, we don't have a saw, so everything that's going to have to be cut is going to have to either be used by a knife or just broken. So I think I'm going to run it a line from this tree here to another nearby tree, and we're going to get our shelter set up. So let's do it. Wow, that was easy. So the first thing I did, if I can find it here, is I tied my hood off. A little ball on that. We don't want it, if it does rain, which is a possibility tonight, I don't want that rain coming inside of my shelter. And also, I don't want any breeze coming out of it and any heat escaping. So I'm going to take a line and run it across these trees to support our shelter system. There, one line. It should be interesting because I've never actually set up my shelter in this configuration before, so I might have to do a little finagling on it. But that's also another reason it's important to go out and test your stuff. Let's start hooking up the tarp. I tell you what, folks, I'm pretty sure there is nothing harder on this planet than trying to film and set something up. I never knew that before. We're gonna just get you over here. One, two. Three. So I need a stick. Shouldn't be too hard. One toggle. Oh, I tell you what, having big old sausage fingers like me and trying to do this small stuff is just terrible. Terrible. Here we go. Let's take a look. Oh my goodness, camera. Just sit there. Do it. So, you've got that. You need to find our other steaks. You know, they're in this bag. Holy crap, I went straight to them. One thing about it, the ground's nice and soft. So there's the basic shelter, but as you can see, there's not a whole lot of room right here. So we're going to get this thing up a little bit. So one thing you have to keep in mind with a shelter this small, poncho, I don't know the exact dimensions of it, but it's not real huge. And the bigger you are, the closer to the ground that you're going to have to put this thing, or you're not going to have coverage. Me, I'm 5'15" and a half, so it's got to be fairly low or I'm going to be sticking out and I'll get rained on or I'll have to sit up all night. So here's what the inside so far looks like. Let me show it to you here. So, not too shabby. We'll get a couple of these items cleared out here real quick. And then I'll show you what it looks like made up. So, we're going to open one of these up. Oh, this camera just messes with my mind. These are just little emergency rescue blankets. We're going to use this because, like I said, use that for a little bit of fire starter. Set it over there. It's really wet, so we're going to use this as our base. Oh boy. That is definitely thin. Let's see if we can get this inside our shelter. Here's our base. Oh, sorry. Got it laid out under there. That should keep us dry. Just can't roll around on that too much or it'll be gone. That's really a one-use wonder. So let's get ready for the next part. That's it. I've got my military Wooby poncho liner, and that's all I got. I have to say that I wasn't particularly looking forward to this because this isn't camping. This is surviving. If you can live through the night, then mission accomplished. That's all there is to it. And it's a little short on me. I hadn't gotten in it yet, but I can just tell I'm going to be cramped underneath this poncho. And if it was seriously storming, yeah, you'd be sitting straight up under it just with the rain pelting down. It would not be great, but it will keep you alive. That's the point, and that's what I'm here to prove. It's time now. It's getting later on in the day. I need to get some firewood and hopefully something out here that I think's dry enough to burn. Let's go do that next. Oh no, this stuff feels really wet. It is really wet. But this is life or death. You got to make it happen. You better have some kind of skill to get a fire going. You can't be sitting there, especially on a night like tonight, shivering. You might not die, but you might. Might's not really good enough when it comes to survival. I'm going to continue. I'm going to get a nice pile going. Okay, we got some stuff gathered up here. In this pile right here, we have our tinies. That's just going to get the fire started, hopefully. Over here, we got our smalls, what I call them smalls, just a little bit bigger. And then we have our firewood. There we go. One of these days I'll learn how to work my camera. There's nothing going to catch on fire out here. I mean, everything is soaking wet. The wood, I gathered it all from off of trees, not, hanging in the air. It wasn't laying on the ground. And all of it's just soaking wet. I don't know. I have confidence that I can start a fire. I better. I've kind of given a lot of people online a little bit of crap. They're, oh my gosh, the wood's wet. We'll never get a fire. We're having a cold camp and blah, blah, blah. We just had 3 inches of rain. I'm having a fire tonight. I'm not going to use gasoline. I'm going to use one piece of tinder and I'm going to have a fire. And if I don't, you will never see this because I'll just make a complete idiot out of myself. But I'm pretty confident. I'm just going to hang out here. I'm actually built up a little bit of sweat, and that's not bad or that's not good in a survival situation. So I'm going to cool off a little while and just hang out here at camp. And here in just a little bit, we'll start a fire and get it going. See you in a little bit. Shelter. Through the bag and my coat under there. Bag's probably going to be the pillow. Coat, it'll keep me warm. It will. It's a warm coat. I love that Levi's coat. It's not a camping coat, but I love it. Got my little bit of firewood. And this firewood's not enough for a campfire. This is enough wood for me to cook something, and that's it. This was an actual survival shelter situation. You might not want to draw attention to yourself. I did put one more stake in right there. Kind of help pull that poncho over a little bit. It was kind of coming over the bed a little bit too much. I tell you what, I was so tempted to bring my camp chair out here, because me sitting on the ground is not great. If you notice, I did bring one sheet. I'm not trying to, well, I am surviving, but if I'm going to sit out here voluntarily, it's going to be voluntarily with a little something, something. A couple of little cold beers won't hurt. It's voluntary, not mandatory. Oh yeah, that's great. That's great. Oh no, let me know what you think about my little area here. I like this spot. It's a pretty spot. Just solid underbrush all the way around. And then there's just this little clearing right here. It's very nice. Lots of pine straw on the ground. Normally I would be really happy. I would gather more pine straw and stick in here, but it's just soaking wet. I can barely wait till in the morning. I'm going to be walking like a 90-year-old man. There isn't any cushion in this thing. Very limited cushion. There's a little bit of pine straw, but I just didn't feel like gathering up more. Another way you could do it is just bring you some drum liners, garbage can drum liners. Fill it up full of pine straw, tie them off, throw them on the ground. I just don't have that. Hadn't gotten that far yet. But going forward, this is probably the last I'm going to do on any kind of preparedness or survival for a little bit. We're going to go do some actual camps. That'll be a lot more fun. Cheers. Oh, that's nice. That's even better than that coffee I had during that walk. I tell you what, this hat is warm. This is a wool hat, and it's great for wintertime. But I run pretty warm anyway, and I start doing activities like this, I get warm quick. I got a little t-shirt on, my Magellan fishing shirt. That's what we got for tonight. T-shirt and Magellan shirt, no long sleeves, no other shirts. Down to close to 40, so with a whoopee. Oh yeah, we're gonna have fun. Catch y'all in a little bit. I knew this stuff was wet. Now, let me adjust that some more. It is horrible. It is absolutely horrible. Don't let me down. Oh yeah, she's struggling. She's struggling a lot. You can hear it hissing. It is not liking it. Get on there, Pine Needle. Everybody can have a shot. These twigs are just so wet. I mean, they're just soaking wet. Well, it's getting a little bit of heat generated in there now. I can feel it. That's all the tinies. Let's see if it'll do something here. Grab a few of these smalls, get them ready to go. It's still struggling really hard. Oh, I think she's gone now. You can hear that steam absolutely blowing out, making sound. It's lit. Not that it wouldn't go out, but it's well on its way as long as you sit here and take care of it. Cool. We're gonna let this burn. Throw a little bit of wood. We're gonna put us on some water. We're gonna try to wrangle up some dinner. And then I'm probably gonna turn in because it's gonna be black in here in just a little bit. Let this burn for a while. Sit here by the fire. Catch up with y'all in just a little bit. And this fire is just for cooking tonight. I'm not burning this fire all night. It's going to get the job done, and we're going to call it good. Survival situation. You wouldn't want to be burning a fire unless it's just freezing cold. And you have to. Got my little light. There, it'll sit there. I guarantee you wouldn't want to cook a steak on this fire. It is about the nastiest smelling son of a gun there ever was. Tonight, we are having beef stroganoff. One of my favorites. Take out the good old flavor packet. Don't want that in there. That will kill you dead as a hammer. So now we just have to wait for this water to at least come somewhat of a boil. It should before too long. Well, that took a little while. The fire is pitiful, but it made it. Try not to spill the boiling water on me. Let's see what we can do. Oh yeah, sit over there and cook at 8 to 9 minutes. Let's see if we can do something about this poor bastard. I flattened it out to get that cup set on here, and it did not like that at all. Not even a little bit. There. We're back in business. I missed my long spoon. I didn't have but one long spoon, so the survival pack got the short spoon. So we're roughing it. Yeah. It'll eat. That bag's still hot. Pretty good though. So I'm gonna eat this, and I'll catch y'all in a bit. So guys and gals, that's really all there is to it. I'm gonna sit here and watch this fire. There's not a whole lot left. Now I'm probably gonna go to bed. It's starting to get a little chilly out here. I'll see y'all when I crawl into this contraption. It's probably about 10:40. I'm inside the shelter, and it just started to rain. Oh, I'm gonna have to scooch down some. I think my head's a little bit exposed. I have to rearrange some. I have to move y'all here pretty quick because you're actually sitting outside. It's a tight fit. Very tight fit. But that's okay. It's just meant to keep us dry. We're going to see, I guess, if that's going to work. So I got my coat. It's not that bad. The clouds came in and it said it's going to be a low of about 50. That's not bad at all. But a wet 50 is cold. This isn't going to be a great night, I can tell. And quite honestly, I've kind of dreaded this night for the last few weeks because I knew this wasn't going to be exactly what we would call a fun night. But it's an important night because you see a lot of people out there on YouTube and they're saying, I've got this and I've got that and I can stay out and I can do that. But you very rarely see them actually go out there and stay in their shelter. And I'm using all of this shelter. I'm really pushing the boundaries of what a military poncho can do. I'm tall. And this poncho doesn't cover a whole lot of square footage. We're going to see. So, yeah, I'm ready to go out and do some real camping. This is hardcore camping. This is the kind of camping that you have nightmares about. So I sat outside for a good while and my fire didn't last very long. And I could have kept it going, but it was one of those fires as wet as it is. If you didn't constantly touch it and fool with it, it just instantly goes out. I mean, it's pretty wet when pine straw will not burn. Dead pine straw will not burn for any length of time. I was kind of hoping it wouldn't rain tonight. It's going to make me use all of the survival on this trip. But that's okay. I'm looking forward to us going out on an actual camping trip. That'll be fun. I don't know if I can get y'all in here enough. I'm going to try. Try not to get queasy. So this is me. My feet are all the way at the end. I mean, it is being all it can be. Actually, when I set the camera, aka the phone down, the phone's actually sitting outside. I mean, I can take my hand and it's outside. So actually, I'm just barely under right there. If it actually started raining, I'd have to scooch down a little bit more. I don't have really, I just have to wad up because I have nowhere else to scooch to. The poncho's staked to the ground and I'm hitting the stake, so that's it. 1040 at night. 1040 at night. I found a root right there. That's gonna be good. I like that. Ground's not cold. I'm really happy with that. This little mylar tarp is keeping all the moisture from creeping up through the ground. Just laying here, it feels pretty good. Now, the military woobies are not, I mean, they're fine for a lot of people, but they're not too good for me because I just have so much square footage to cover. So basically, it's just around my legs. That's all it is, just around my legs. Just keep my legs warm because I'm not wearing any thermals or anything like that. It's just jeans. Just like you would be if you're in a survival situation off guard. You know, if you broke down, whatever the reason, there's 1,000 reasons that you could make up why you'd be in this situation, but 99% of the time you're not going to be prepared for it to happen right that second. You just try to prepare to keep yourself alive. But we're going to get through this night. I'm probably just going to get up. I'll probably be up at daylight if I even make it till daylight. I'm going to sleep as long as I can. And then we're going to get up in the morning. I'm not rebuilding a fire. I'm probably going to just get up and pack it in if I don't get flooded out tonight. I'm going to hang in there as long as I can. I mean, I want to test it. But this will probably be the one and only time that I test this to this extent. So I want to get a good test. And then we're going to call it a day. So I thank y'all for sticking with me. I hope y'all have gotten some kind of good out of this. And I know I have. And I've learned a little bit more about my stuff. And we'll go over to that probably a little bit later on. Or maybe the next video I do, may sit and talk about it when I'm not under a tarp or a poncho. It's just a poncho. I need to grow shorter, or ponchos need to be bigger. I'm not sure which. But anyway, I hope y'all have a great night. If something really crazy happens, I'll bring you back. But if not, I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. If there is such a thing as a good morning at 4:30 in the morning. I slept. It was not good. It wasn't a good sleep, but I did sleep. Slept for about 6 hours, 5.5, 6 hours. That's as long as I can take the ground. If I was in a situation where I was out on the road, I just had to get up and start moving. There's no way I could sleep on the ground for more than 5.5, 6 hours. Was able to make this nice little fire though, and got me a cup of coffee. Oh man. And it is hot, but it's good. My thoughts? I think it did pretty well overall. Will it keep you alive? Yes. Will it keep you comfortable? No. You won't be comfortable at any point in time during that. Could you make yourself comfortable? Absolutely. But it'd take a lot of time, and if you're trying to move, time is a luxury you're not going to have. It is soaking wet last night. So as you might have known, I'm actually sitting in a chair. I came over to my campfire area and made a little fire in the fire pit. You hear that? Wow. Those coyotes are raising 9 kinds of hell over there. Made me a little fire. It doesn't want to burn much better than the one I made by my camp area, but it is burning. There they go again. I love listening to coyotes. It's hard to sleep through them, but I like listening to them. It started getting a little cold there at the end, and I figured I would too, because a military whoopie's not quite enough. You know, it's only supposed to have been 50 degrees this morning, but man, it is wet. It's so wet. The poncho's just covered with dew. I was starting to get dew on the inside, on the edges. Like my shemagh, it just kind of fell off of me and was laying to the side, and it was wet. So that wet just soaks into you. Coat did pretty well, but I could definitely tell where the woobie was hitting and where it wasn't hitting, because it won't wrap all the way around me. I think I'm just going to drink this coffee a minute, and I'm going to pack it in and go to the house. That's close enough to a night for me. 4:30 in the morning is close enough. I mean, if you can make it 6 hours of sleep, then you're good. 5.5, 6 hours, whatever it was. I could have picked a lot better campsite. Holy cow, that ground was terrible. After that pine straw kind of crushed down, it was like laying on marbles. I just could not get comfortable. But yeah, I don't think I'll be doing this one again anytime soon, like ever, unless I'm trying to survive. I wanted to prove it to myself. It's proved. I'm too old to be enjoying it though. And this is what this channel is supposed to be, enjoyable. I'm not going to punish myself. So next time, we're going to go do something that's fun. So I'm going to have my coffee. And I hope y'all have a great day and a great week and a happy new year. And I will see you next time. Cheers. Being unstring in the dark, you did okay.